For Bolt Bros here. I want to do a quick video previewing the Chargers Jets Monday Night Football game. I know there's a lot going on. Don't even have an injury report at the moment, but I want to talk specifically about what I've seen with the offense. Let's review the defense statistics. Let's see what the Jets are doing. Let's see what the Chargers are doing offensively, defensively. Be a good video, guys. Let's get into it. Bolt Bros. Okay, folks, as always, like and subscribe if you do enjoy the content. I'm Andrew Bolt Bros. So, Kellen Moore, I do like what Kellen Moore is doing with this offense, folks. I've been very, very impressed with a lot of the play calling. I've been watching a lot of film. I'm going to be doing a film review of the games moving forward. So just be looking out for that. Hopefully next week I'll have the platform ready to go. But I'm really liking what we're seeing offensively, and I think last week was a good team win from the offense. I think we're seeing some nice changes. Movement, preset motion, those are things I really do like. But anyways, I'm going to talk more about that a little later on, film study. So look out for that. So let's review some of the statistics of where we sit from an offensive perspective at the moment, right? I think that, again, we are averaging, 24 points per game. Jets are around 18, so they're 26. So obviously we're scoring more points than they are. I do suspect we're going to score around 25 to 26 points. I do believe we're favored actually by 3 points currently right now. Rushing offense is actually doing very well. They're actually bottom of the league. I mean, offensively across the board, we're a better team than they are offensively for sure, like 100%, right? Third down conversions, we're 12th, they're 32nd. Red zone scoring, we're 4th, they're 32nd. Sacks allowed, they're giving up quite a few sacks. Turnovers, they're giving up more turnovers than us, right? So again, from an offensive perspective, we should score more points. I actually really suspect if we can score over 20 points, we should win this game. I don't think the Jets are really going to score more than 20 points. That's just my prediction. Let's talk about the offense a little bit more detail. Herbert, I think he had a complete game last week. I think he looked very, very good. Again, going through, what he's had. But again, getting Austin Ekeler back has been great. I really wanted to see number 2. I wanted to see some stick time come in. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But bottom line, this has worked out very well. I really do think the offense is finally coming together. Herbert's clearly understanding the offense, and also he's doing a lot of audibles at the line. So it's been really good seeing his progression as an on-field general, for this team. But let's review the numbers as well, too. I think it is kind of nice to take a look at, what he did last week. Again, almost 300 yards. He was 31 for 40 and 3 touchdowns. Again, nothing really deep downfield. I think that's probably the argument. A lot of people are still going, well, he's going back to that. He's going back to that. But look, Austin Ekeler is such a great weapon. A lot of those throws were to Austin Ekeler. He got like over 100 yards, receiving last week. And so, again, they're kind of designed runs, really short passes, super high completions. But look, at the end of the day, it got us a W. What does it matter, right? So it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out this week. I'm going to talk about a few things that I think, strategically we should do against the Jets. But again, Ekeler, like I said, I cannot state this enough. It's great to have him back. I think he's reading well. He also picked up some really nice run blocks. Very good film study when I was looking at what I was seeing from him. It was really interesting, and I'll talk more about the defense moving forward. But again, offensively, Ekeler has just been it's good to have him back. Hope he stays healthy. Hope he has no more injuries. Now, one thing I will say about Keenan Allen, I don't suspect he'll have a great game. So if you're a fantasy guy, I would think he probably is going to have a poor game, largely because most likely Sauce is going to man him up, and I think he's going to have a hard time. Now, again, Keenan Allen's, amazing at getting open, so he'll have his catches here and there. But again, he's going to have Sauce to deal with, so it's going to be tough. Now, one thing, as you know, we did let Trey McKitty go. So again, you can't in Kellen Moore's offense, you have to block and you have to be able to catch the ball as a tight end. He wasn't good at either one of those guys. I mean, if you look at his PFF ratings, it wasn't great. It's unfortunate he didn't work out, but again, they let him go. It's tough. I mean, it's hard, right? But what did we do? We brought up Nick Van Nett. I think Nick Van Nett will be fine. He is a serviceable tight end. I think he'll do fine. He's a veteran, man. And look, say what you want to say about Tom Telesco and Brandon Staley. The one thing I will say is this: we've picked up a lot of great people off the waiver wire that have stepped up. D. Marlowe, now Nick Van Nett, Simi Fehoko, Bassie. Those are 4 players I can think of just right off the top of my head that we've picked up off practice squads that are actually going to be starting to play with this team. And again, they're letting people go that are not maybe fitting the system or fitting the mold of what you're trying to accomplish. And so I think this is a better person for Kellen Moore's offense. So we'll see how he does. I'm curious to see, how often he comes in and plays. My suspicion was when we picked him up and he was on the practice squad is he was really there just to learn the system and understand what he needed to do to be productive. I think once they saw what he could do potentially in the practice squad, they said, okay, he's looking pretty good. Trey McKitty is not improving. All right, let's move Nick Van Epp up, and so, hey, let's see what he can do, right? I mean, he's been in the league a while. He's a veteran. So, good to see him. Good to see what he can do. I also want to see QJ get a little more involved. I do think he's, he improved quite a bit that last game. His route running definitely improved, but you can see the yards after catch ability, guys. We need that in this team. We just haven't had it in a long time. Keenan Allen tends to always just kind of fall down when he catches the ball, yada, yada. But again, get him more involved, get him some simple touches, put him in motion. There's a lot of easy things you can do to just give him some space. So it's nice to see Herbert, go through his progressions. I think he did a very good job of going through his progressions last week compared to the weeks prior. So I hope that continues with the Jets. Again, it's going to be tougher. It's going to be tougher. And as long as we can just continue to just not turn the ball over, I think we should win that game. I think, to some degree, if the offense does not turn the ball over, I think we'll be fine. Now, so again, Jalen Guyton, I'm assuming he may be brought up this week. Rumors are that he should be available. So I'm very curious to see how that plays out. Again, we should be getting our first injury report sometime today. We have not received it yet, but by the time of me filming this video, I will obviously post it on the page as well. But again, it would be great to see Guyton come back. Let's talk about the defense. And again, the defense has been, ups and downs this year. You know that. I know that. Brandon Staley knows that. There's a lot of things that I could talk about, my frustrations with Brandon Staley. Again, Brandon Staley is going to do what he's going to do, right? But one of the things that I think really changed our defensive production last week was this man right here, Derek Ainsley. There was rumors that there was a talk internally with the Chargers players, and he said, "Hey, look, guys, we need to start having fun here. Like, this is ridiculous. We're not having fun. You're playing tight. You're not enjoying playing football." So I think Derek Ainsley did a really good job of rallying the defense together and just saying, look, let's go out there and have some fun. And they did, guys. You could tell that they were more aggressive. We played better. And it looked like we played a little more as a cohesive unit. I was very impressed with our defensive performance. And again, you can argue all day, well, it's the Bears, they're mid, yada, yada. But look, at the end of the day, it's an NFL team. Derek Ainsley clearly is stepping in as the defensive coordinator. So we'll see how it changes. Now, again, going up against the Jets, let's review the stats here. The Jets are not scoring points, right? They are, their defense is not great. Pardon me, their defense is amazing, but they don't score points, right? So again, the Jets are allowing around 18 points per game. I think I read a statistic. They said something like they've only allowed like 2 teams to score 2 touchdowns in a single game thus far this season. So again, if we're over 20 points, again, I think 21 points could do it for this game. So if we can score 3 touchdowns, I think we'll be all right, right? So again, points allowed, we're 24. Look, I think we're going to have a pretty decent defensive performance. It's great to see Joey Bosa come back. I'm going to talk more about the defense as well. But again, rushing defense, our passing defense has been poor, right? So I do suspect Zach will probably try and throw the ball, AKA the MILF hunter, right? But again, he's not looked great. He looked okay, right? So I think a lot of short passes are really what you're going to see. And again, I would just go back to exactly what we did. The defensive game plan we did against Bajan, I think is exactly what we should do against Zach. 100%. They had 2 high safety. They put a lid on top, and they played more close to the line. They played more press man, a little bit more physical on these wide receivers. Don't let them run free, right? I think we'll be okay if we can do that. Now, rushing defense, we've actually been great. And by the way, the Jets are not good at rushing defense at all, which I think is really surprising. I actually always thought that they would be pretty good. We've actually flip-flopped. I think we were 31st last year. So it's interesting that they're really good. We were actually 5th in passing defense, 5th or 4th or 5th in passing defense last year, but we were 31st in rushing defense. So those 2 numbers are extremely flipped with our teams, which I think is really interesting. But total defense, we're 31st or 14th, right? So they are giving up points, right? And they're giving up yardage. But again, they're doing better. So third down conversions were, we're pretty good at, giving up third downs, and they're 19th. So, we're pretty middle of the pack. Red zone, defense. We're actually all right in red zone defense. They're fourth. So they're pretty good when we get down to the red zone. So that's going to be a little bit of a concern, right? And we'll kind of go from there. But sacks, they're 13th, we're 7th. So we're definitely getting more sacks and then takeaways right there. So not a whole lot to talk about beyond that. But again, folks, I really do believe if we score 3 touchdowns this game, I think we'll win, right? I really do. If we get a large lead, then Zach's going to have to throw the ball. I just don't see it happening. One thing that could also happen too is Tito could be called up. I believe Tito and also Jalen Guyton could also be brought up. Again, I do think Tito might be there. I would suspect if they don't have to, I would let them sit. We haven't had any injuries on the defensive line, knock on wood, but Tito was killing it. So, you could probably bring him back a little slowly and he'd probably be all right. But it's good to see the defense play the way we have. Again, I like Derwin James being more of a safety. I know they did some blitzing that I thought was great, some edge blitzing, using him a little bit more judiciously when it came to pass coverage last week. I think you could do the same thing with Derwin James. Literally do the same game plan we had with the Bears. We will be fine. Until Zach Wilson can prove that he can beat you with throwing the ball, stop the run, and just make Zach Wilson beat you with his arm. And he hasn't been able to do that this year. He had a decent game last week, but I think we can get some turnovers. We can get some pressure on him. I think we'll be fine. And again, it's good to see this team come together. I'm going to show you some photos from Keenan Allen's Halloween party. You can tell that the team is really starting to come together as a group. And it takes time, folks. It takes time for teams to gel. And really, at the end of the day, it looks like we're finally coming together as a group, right? These guys are finally starting to come out there. And again, look at this photo right here. You got Fihoko off the a waiver wire, Dean Marlowe waiver wire, Bassey waiver wire, Muse waiver wire. I even forgot about Muse. Guys, this team is being built as it's progressing also, right? And again, you can argue all day. Well, Kellen Moore's this and Brandon Staley's that. But bottom line, guys, they understand talent, right? And if you could pick up players during the season that can actually fit into your team and make the team better as it's progressing, why not do it? So the team is very aggressively looking at the waiver wire constantly and obviously improving. And again, Muse has been a great special teams guy. I mean, Dean Marlowe has been awesome in special teams. We lost Raheem Lane. He stepped in that special teams piece. And then Ogbamia is an amazing in special teams. Bassey's been fine on special teams also. So it's not just the offense or the defense. They're also contributing on special teams. And again, we got a first touchdown from Fihoko. He's looking like he's fitting right into this offense. And he's a big body, guys. Like, a lot of people talk about Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison and these other guys and that we could have gotten over QJ. But you got to remember something. This team likes very big bodies and big wide receivers. They do not like small bodies. Bottom line, Brandon Staley has consistently said that over and over again. He does not want small people. Then you got someone like Adarius Davis, who's one of the smallest guys in the league. But again, his whole purpose brought in was more for special teams, but you're using him in some specific situations. So it's pretty interesting to see. But again, game plan, I think it's really nice to see this team come together and really just become a team. And again, here's a couple photos from Slay's Halloween party. I already posted them on the YouTube page. If you've seen it before, it's great. But again, it's just awesome to see, what is going on with this team. I really do hope they kind of take this game and move forward and really get some nice wins under our belt. But again, you can tell these guys are having a good time with one another. And it's good to see team cohesiveness. So I don't want this video to be too long, folks. But again, at the end of the day, I do think that this is a game that we're going to win. I think, Vegas thinks we should win. I think we should win. I think by 3 points is very doable. I even think we could even win by 10, right? So, I mean, if you're a betting man, it might not be a bad game to bet. I do think we can win this game. The Chargers are looking good. And I think the defense is finally stepping up, communicating properly, and becoming the better team that they need to be. And now they're really trusting one another, right? And, Mike Davis looks a little bit better, right? ASJ, I can't say enough, man. He looks absolutely incredible. And guys, also, we are interviewing Dayon Henley on Saturday as well, too. So that should be fun. You watch out for that video. I know, a lot there, guys. So as always, Andrew Bopros. See you guys in the next one.